This is Deborah Weaver, and we are going to spec a jean. You want to start with your spec page, and you're going to be reading the POMs according to your spec page. So whether you're speccing a man or a lady's jean, they're all going to be the same. First thing, one of the first specs you're going to have is your waistband height. So that's easy enough. You just do the waistband height anywhere on the jean. There's the height. The next one is the waistband width. So to do the waistband width, you need to join the front and the back together. We just measure along the top. The first one would be along the top. I'm going to measure along the top here. The next one would be along the seam. Of course, you're going to be writing the measurements down. I'm just doing the quick demo here of where they actually are. So here is the next one along the seam there. The next one's going to be the hip seam width. This is one of the most important specs that's gathering the width there. So you just want to make sure your whole crotch area is flat. And you're going to start with the first point. It's a 3-point measure, and the first point of the measure is right here. So you have 3 7/8 from there down to the first stitch. So you're going to take 3 7/8 and mark it on this side. 3 7/8 here. Once you've been doing this enough, you can see that you can just go from one to the other. So you could go from the bottom here, because this is where it is, on this side. And we want to make sure we grab all the fabric. So you're going to go from there down to your bottom of your crotch stitch there, and then up to the other side. And this jean is 19 1/2. The next measurement is your J height or your fly height here, and it goes from the waistband seam down to the top, the bottom of the last stitch down there. And then you want to get the width, which is going to go from that folded edge right to the last stitch on this side. The next one is going to be your inseam. Your inseam is right here, and you're going to come from the crotch seam straight down to the bottom hem along the seam, like that. The out seam you would measure here from the waistband seam right along the out seam, and this POM would go right on that line or aside the line, not on the outer folded edge. So there it is there, the out seam. The next one is the front rise. The front rise here on this jean is right here from the waistband seam down to there, to that seam. The back rise, same thing from the back waistband seam down to that crotch seam back there. The next one is the thigh. So you want to get your leg out here straight again. The thigh is going to be 1 inch below the crotch seam right here. There's 1 inch below. And then from there, we want to go all the way and make sure we catch all the fabric of the thigh there, which is right here, and come across straight. We want to make sure that we're perpendicular to the front grain line. And come over to this other side, and it's over here at the folded edge here, not at the seam, at the folded edge out here. So on this example, it's 11 1/2, perpendicular to the seam. The knee is 13 inches below the crotch here. So we go 13 inches down below the crotch right there. And then from there we, again, grab all the fabric. So from that folded edge to this folded edge. Make sure that it's nice and flattened out. So we've got 8 and then 8 there. The next one is going to be the leg opening, which is down here. With the leg opening, you can either just go right along the bottom here, 6 1/2. The next thing you have is the hem height. So on the hem height, you want to take it at the inside here. We're going to go right from that edge to this edge here. It's 1/2. And the next thing we have is the back yoke. So the back yoke is here. This is the back yoke of everyone's jean. The back yoke height at the center back is right here, 2 inches. And then here, the back yoke height at the out seam is at the front. This POM has to be at the front of the sketch. That one's 1. And then we have the back patch pocket height, right down the middle of your pocket. There's my back patch pocket height. Here's my back patch pocket width across the top. And then the width across the bottom, because they're typically tapered down. Okay, so there's my back patch pocket information. The next thing it wants is the belt loop. So we have the belt loop height. There it is, and the belt loop width, like that. And then we have the front inset pocket opening. This is the front inset pocket opening. We want to do the measurement from the waistband seam down to this top curve right there. So 3 1/4 on this jean. And then we're gonna go from as close as we can to center front right there at that front of that curve and come along the waistband to the outseam right there. This example is 4 1/8. That is our front inset pocket opening. Our back patch pocket placement from the waistband is right here. That one's 3 1/2 on this one. And then we're gonna go from the center back of the rise, center back to here. We've got 1 1/2 on this example. That's where the back patch pocket is placed. If you have a flap, you would do it from the top of the flap edge. Then we have the belt loop placement at the center front. This is the opening edge. So you're gonna go from the opening edge, center front, right to that loop, 3 1/8 on this example. Then from the back one, this is the actual view where you take the measurement is from that loop there to this outseam here. So this example is 1 1/2. You depict this at the back sketch, so you have to have a reference line out here. And then you have your next POM, which is the front inset pocket bag here. We want to know the length. We'll do that at the folded front edge here. That's the longest position, 7 1/4. And then on the width, we're going to go from that stitch, that seam right there. So there's the seam across. There's the inset pocket bag width. Now we come back out to the coin pocket, which is here. Here's the full view of the coin pocket. The first POM wants to know where's the coin pocket down from the waistband, right here. So where it is down from the waistband is there. We can see 1 1/8 there. The next one, B, is from the outseam. Here's the outseam, where it is from there. So we got 3/4 on this one. And then what's the depth down the middle? Here's the depth down the middle. We got 4 there. What is the width across the top? Here's the width across the top, 3 1/4 on this sample. And then the last couple of measurements we have is the fly extension width. This is the fly extension right here. The width at the waistband goes from the stitch right there to the outer edge. So on this sample we have 1 1/2. And then the height is on this outer edge right here. This is the outer edge, almost 4. So we have 3 7/8 there. The last thing is the zipper. To measure the zipper, you want to go from the stop to the stop there. So you can see the stop, that's that metal square below the bottom of the head. So from there up, and there you have 3 inches on the zipper length. And that's it. That's how to measure a 5 pocket. Thank you.